Are you looking for a summer job, internship, fieldwork experience, or volunteer opportunity? Are you looking for a place where you can share enthusiasm, share compassion, be a leader, gain confidence, make a difference, show spirit, be intentional, affect change, build community, learn skills, prepare for your future, strengthen and inspire individuals with special needs? If you answered yes to any of these questions, then you may be looking for Camp. To learn more, please watch this short video.
Like one of the most amazing places.
It's kind of a home away from home.
Camp just gets into your blood in a way, and you can't get away from it and you don't want to.
I love it.
Camp's mission is to strengthen and inspire individuals with special needs and those who care for them through recreation, respite, and education.
Camp is a place where parents can send their kids to have time off and know that their kids are taken care of in an environment that is very unique and very special.
They are able to participate in activities that typically they don't get a chance to do. They bond with other campers and they bond with their counselors, and it's just a great community experience for them.
Our counselors at camp largely are high school or college age students.
Camp is looking for a lot of things when it comes to counselors, but the number one thing we need is compassion. Compassion to come and give our kids a chance to do things they wouldn't get to do anyplace else and learn something about yourself in the process.
We have so many counselors that come out who are so dedicated to forgetting about their own needs that they can put all of that aside and focus directly on helping their camper have the best time that they can possibly have.
The energy at camp is so amazing. Just on a regular basis, there's always something happening. We have arts and crafts, we have swimming, canoeing, horseback, nature. There's so many things out here.
Flagpole is this amazing spirit competition you have every morning. The campers get out there, sing songs, get really into it. They show their tribe spirit.
You were really loud. There's all these different kinds of songs. Campers are jumping up and down.
I like to think we make it as fun as we can, and I think that's the goal.
The role of a counselor is to be a friend, to be a mentor. You're there 24/7 to make the camping experience for your camper the best it can be. You do need a level of maturity and responsibility because it is caring for these kids, but I think everybody is capable of doing it. They just need to be mentored and have the correct support, which we provide out here. My training has helped me feel more prepared. Training provides you skills in behavior management and lifting and feeding and bathing. It gives you the basics that you need to ensure that campers are safe and well cared for.
When I came my first summer, I had never really worked with people who had special needs before, and I didn't know what to expect. But pre-camp, it really helps you feel confident about everything that you're doing.
The training that I went through for camp, I thought was excellent. They didn't just take it from a standpoint of here are the things you need to do, here's a manual. It was, you're a part of the family, we're going to take you under our wing and show you everything you need to know.
And out here you have support, you have mentorship. You're never going to be alone.
There's nothing that can come your way that you won't be able to handle, and that you won't have the support behind you from your lead staff, from your core staff, from the camp directors, from just your fellow counselors. And knowing that those people are there and that there is a system of support is really the best thing that camp training does for you. Camp is a place where I find that people bring out the best in each other. Our campers come, and while we like to believe that we bring out the best in them, at the end of the day, I think we find that not only do they bring out the best in each other, but they also bring out some of the best things in us.
camp desires for me as a counselor to grow as a person.
I've gained a lot of things, but I think the one thing that I really gained was perspective. I learned so much more about myself here than anywhere else in the world. Campers taught me to never be selfish, to appreciate everything I have.
Camp means an opportunity for our staff and volunteers to really learn, to challenge themselves in ways that they probably never really thought they would before they set foot through our gates.
I'd be hard-pressed to find anyone who wasn't absolutely affected by their experience.
Our respite programs happen after our summer programming, and it runs from September through May. We have 3 different programs in our respite club. The first one is our P&O, our Parents Night Out program. Very popular. It's for our children ages 6 months to 13 years. They come into our facility at Blackland Air Force Base. The parents come in and drop them off. The parents are able to go out and eat or sleep or go to a movie. TDA is a really fun program. It stands for Teen and Adult Day Adventure.
It is a wonderful program. It's based in San Antonio. We take campers ages 14 to 35 out on the town once a month, usually a Saturday or Sunday. It's about a 4 to 5 hour event.
They have a one-on-one buddy, and we do things like bowling, Spurs games, Malibu Castle, SeaWorld, Fiesta Texas. Respite weekends are designed a lot like our summer program. It happens out in Center Point, and we do all the recreational things you would find in the summer program. Respite weekends are a great thing to come out, and if you're unsure about camp, it's a great place to start.
I think my favorite camp memory was the first time I got a letter from a camper after he'd left camp saying how much he had missed me and just wanted to thank me for what a good time that he had at camp. And that really touched me because it wasn't just at camp that we were making a difference, but we made a difference outside of camp.
For that counselor, it gives that opportunity for them to grow, to learn that there's no boundaries.
I feel like camp is the one place where I have a purpose and a passion for something that's real.
Hi, I'm Camp Director Brandon Briery, and I wanted to take a few minutes to tell you a little about what camp means to me and why I think it's so important. First of all, I tell people all the time that camp is not like the real world, but if the real world were more like camp, the real world would be a much better place. Well, why is this? Well, first of all, camp is an intentional community. It's intentional because a lot of thought and planning go into pretty much everything we do, all the way from how we serve our meals, to how we schedule activities, to how we group campers and counselors together in their tribes. All of it is planned out so that we can achieve our goals of building community. That's where the community comes in. Camp is a community unlike any other. It's a place where people from very diverse backgrounds come together with one common goal: to strengthen and inspire individuals with special needs and those who care for them. It's a community where people from diverse racial backgrounds, diverse ability levels, diverse regions of the country, diverse education levels, pretty much any kind of diversity you can think of is represented at camp, yet we all come together with one single vision in building that intentional community. Now, I mentioned that shared vision, which is actually also camp's mission statement: to strengthen and inspire individuals with special needs and those who care for them through recreation, respite, and education. The first part of that, the individuals with special needs, clearly is talking about our campers, and they are the first group that we're working to strengthen and inspire. But then it talks about those who care for them. Well, the first ones we think of are the families, and sometimes those families really need that break, and that's the respite piece of the mission, is giving those families a break while their campers come out and take part in camp's programs. But that's not where it ends. Those who care for them also includes our staff, our volunteers, our healthcare volunteers, everyone who is part of the community that comes together to help strengthen and inspire our campers ends up being strengthened and inspired themselves in some way, and that's part of where the education piece comes in. When you come out to camp, you learn some skills that you really don't have the opportunity to learn many other places. You learn some leadership skills, you learn some character building skills, you learn how to put the needs of someone else above your own. But so many times you learn things that help with your careers as you go forward. Even if you're already a seasoned professional, there are things that you can learn out at camp that really aren't available in many other community settings, hospital settings, school settings. There's just always a lot to learn at camp. If you've never done anything like this before, it's only natural that you may be asking yourself, yeah, but is this really for me? Well, I can tell you what a camper once told me about what makes the perfect counselor to them. They said, for me, the perfect counselor would be a big giant ear with arms that can listen and can hug me. Sometimes that's all that's really needed. If you have that compassion and that willingness to listen and those arms to reach out and hug and to assist where campers need assistance, then you may be the perfect counselor. You don't have to worry about not having a lot of experience prior to coming to camp, not having the training or educational background that may be important, because we're going to provide training for you, and we're going to provide a lot of coaching and mentorship and assistance throughout the time you're at camp, so you'll never be alone and you'll always be supported. I mentioned earlier that camp is a community like no other. Another camper once told me that if you've never been to camp, you can't understand it, and even if you've been there, you can't explain it. I think this is true for just about any of us who have actually lived the camp experience. When we start trying to talk about it to our friends or family who haven't actually been part of it, it's just a little bit incomprehensible to them. Camp really is one of those things that's greater than the sum of its parts, and until you've actually lived the experience, you don't know fully what it's all about. One of the most amazing things about camp is that camp is a place where you can learn more about yourself while you also learn more about others. But coming to my final point, why is camp so important? Well, I believe fully well that camp helps to build a better world, one camper, one volunteer, and one staff member at a time, as we all work together in the intentional community we call camp to strengthen and inspire one another, and then take that back out into the real world. The real world simply can't help but take one step closer toward becoming more like the world we know as camp. But don't just take my word for it. The United Way of San Antonio and Bexar County recognized Camp Camp as the 2011 Nonprofit Volunteer Program of the Year from among all nonprofits that serve the San Antonio and Bexar County area. In addition, the American Camp Association and American Camping Foundation recognized Camp Camp with the 2011 Eleanor Eels Award for Program Excellence from among all camps across the United States. These awards recognize the excellence camp strives for and achieves through all of its programs, but perhaps even more importantly, they recognize the dedication of everyone who is part of the camp community in working towards achieving camp's mission. We hope at this point you're saying, okay, I'm interested, but what else do I need to know? Well, let's start with how to apply. First, visit our website at www.campcamp.org, and you'll see 3 boxes across the top of the page. The box on the right-hand side will have some links in it, and one of those links will say Volunteer/Staff Application. If you click on that link, it will take you into our application system where you can complete the online portions of the application. Just below that, you'll see another link labeled Essay Questions for Volunteer/Staff Application. We encourage you to open that and look at the questions and maybe go ahead and formulate your answers into a word processor that you can later use to cut and paste your answers into your application. Once you've started the application, it's very important that you finish the whole thing in one sitting and check out at the end, because if you don't, none of your data will be saved and we won't even have a notification that you've started an application. So it's very important that you set aside enough time to go ahead and complete the whole application. 30 to 45 minutes should be more than sufficient, but make sure that you do it all in one sitting and don't get distracted by phone calls or TV or anything else, and make sure you check out at the end. Now, once you've done that, you should receive an email that gives you instructions on additional paperwork that you'll need to download, print out, complete, and either mail or fax back into camp. It's very important that you follow through on those steps as well. One final note on the applications. If you do find that you need to go back in and edit any of the information you had put on your application originally, please make sure you follow the links for Edit 2012 Application. Don't go back through the Register Online links because it will create another application for you, and camp gets charged for every application that's completed. We only need one from each person. Thanks for helping us with this. You may also be wondering what our pay scale is like for our summer paid positions, or what we call our lead staff positions at Camp. Well, on the lower end, it starts at about $150 per week and ranges up to about $350 per week, depending on position. Our floating counselors, also known as paid lead staff or pleases, start at the $150 per week entry level. For each successive level of responsibility or expertise required, there's a successive increase in pay. So, our assistant cabin counselors and assistant instructors make a little more than the pleases, the chief cabin counselors and head instructors make more than that, and so on and so forth. At the very top of the pay scale are those positions which require some sort of certification or expertise, such as our executive chef or our head maintenance assistant. A few final notes about our lead staff or paid summer positions. First, if you are hired into one of our lead staff positions, we do expect you to make the commitment to spend the entire summer with us. Second, our lead staff positions are residential, meaning that we expect you to live on site while camp is in session. One of the benefits to working at camp in the summer is that room and board is also provided, so you don't have to buy food or pay rent. And if you're 18 or older, you're welcome to stay at camp over the weekends as well. We also encourage you to consider whether or not you might be able to work at camp in the summer and also get credit at your college or university for internship, field work experience, or to gather some research data. Previous summer staff have been able to combine their summer jobs with these very valuable academic opportunities as well, in fields like psychology, social work, special education, or therapeutic recreation, among others. If you have an interest in doing this, please let us know, and we'll work with you to develop a program that works for both you and your school. Once we receive completed applications, we'll get in touch to schedule an interview, which can be done by telephone, Skype, or in person. Finally, just to let you know, Camp will be opening its brand new aquatic center in the summer of 2012. We're really excited about this accomplishment, and we'll need lots of great lifeguards to help make it a success. If you still have questions that haven't been answered, for more information visit our website at www.campcamp.org, or for questions specifically about kitchen, maintenance, housekeeping, or lifeguard positions, contact Associate Camp Director Ben Elbley at ben.elbley@campcamp.org. For questions specifically about activity leader positions, contact Program Coordinator Alex Sego at alex.sego@campcamp.org. For questions about cabin counselor, internship, fieldwork, or research opportunities, contact me, Camp Director Brandon Briery, at brandon.briery@campcamp.org. And finally, for questions about volunteer opportunities, contact Volunteer Coordinator Sarah Colombe at sarah.colombe@campcamp.org. Thanks, and we hope to see you around the campfire.